Saved by the Bell once made growing up look easy, fun, and harmless. But behind those lockers were pressure, erasure, addiction, and lives that quietly fell apart. Nearly 40 years later, their then and now transformations will shock you. Because fame didn't save everyone. Dennis Haskins as Mr. Belding. Dennis Haskins was born on November 18, 1950, in Chattanooga, Tennessee. When he stepped into the role of Principal Richard Belding on Saved by the Bell in 1989, he was 38 years old, embodying the strict yet warm authority figure who became the show's moral anchor. Long before Bayside High, Haskins spent years grinding through guest roles on television, appearing in series like The Love Boat and Chips. Success finally came late, but it arrived with a price. Mr. Belding became so iconic that it quietly trapped him. Behind the scenes, his personal life proved less stable. Haskins married Denny Haskins in 1989, the same year his career peaked, but the relationship slowly unraveled under the pressures of fame and constant public association with a single character, ending in divorce decades later. In the 2000s, his reputation took another hit amid a widely reported scandal involving inappropriate online messages, an episode that didn't end his career but permanently altered how the public viewed him. Still alive in 2026 at age 75, Dennis Haskins remains closely tied to Saved by the Bell, earning a living through fan conventions, interviews, and nostalgia-driven appearances. Lark Voorhees as Lisa Turtle. Lark Voorhees, born March 25, 1974, in Nashville, Tennessee, was only 15 years old when she debuted as Lisa Turtle on Saved by the Bell, the fashionable, sharp-tongued girl who balanced humor with ambition. As the series exploded in popularity, Voorhees also appeared in Good Morning, Miss Bliss, and later landed roles on Days of Our Lives, where she won a Daytime Emmy nomination. In the early 2000s, her career slowed as she struggled with erratic behavior, sudden public outbursts, and difficulty maintaining professional relationships, leading to missed opportunities and long absences from acting. Voorhees went through brief, troubled marriages, including one annulled after allegations of abuse and another ending quietly. In 2015, she was diagnosed with schizoaffective disorder, a condition combining mood disorder symptoms with psychosis, something she kept private for years. Only in 2020 did she publicly reveal the diagnosis, explaining how untreated mental illness had derailed both her career and personal stability at critical moments. Still alive in 2026 at age 52, Lark Voorhees lives largely out of the spotlight, focusing on mental health awareness, occasional fan events, and personal healing. Mario Lopez as A.C. Slater. Mario Lopez, born October 10, 1973, in San Diego, California, was just 16 years old when he first appeared as A.C. Slater on Saved by the Bell, the muscular, hot-headed wrestler whose bravado masked unexpected loyalty. While the show brought instant fame, it also boxed him into the teen heartthrob mold. After the series ended, Lopez struggled to transition into adult roles, enduring years of stalled auditions and low-profile projects like Pacific Blue. The pressure to stay relevant pushed him into hosting, where he rebuilt his career step by step, eventually becoming a fixture on Extra and later Access Hollywood. In 2004, his marriage to Allie Landry collapsed just 2 weeks after the wedding following revelations of infidelity, a public scandal that damaged his clean-cut image. Lopez later admitted to emotional immaturity during his rise to fame, describing a long process of self-correction and discipline. Still alive in 2026 at age 53, Mario Lopez remains highly visible in entertainment, balancing television hosting, acting, and family life. Tiffany Thiessen as Kelly Kapowski. Born January 23, 1974, Tiffany Thiessen came into the world in Long Beach, California, and was only 15 years old when she became Kelly Kapowski on Saved by the Bell, the all-American girl whose sweetness masked quiet resilience. As the series peaked, Thiessen endured relentless body scrutiny, tabloid pressure, and the narrow expectations placed on teen idols. When Saved by the Bell ended, she made a deliberate break from innocence, joining Beverly Hills 90210 in 1994 as Valerie Malone, a darker, morally complex role that mirrored her desire to escape typecasting. Her personal life remained comparatively stable but not untouched by loss. The sudden death of close friend and co-star Dustin Diamond deeply affected her, reinforcing her retreat from celebrity chaos. Over time, she redirected her energy toward balance, family, and creative control, later starring in White Collar and reinventing herself as a lifestyle and cooking television personality. Still alive in 2026 at age 52, Tiffani Thiessen works selectively in entertainment, focusing on hosting, writing, and family. Her survival marked by reinvention rather than scandal. Mark Paul Gosselaar as Zach Morris. Born March 1, 1974, Mark Paul Gosselaar was born in Panorama City, California, and was just 15 years old when he became Zach Morris on Saved by the Bell, the blonde schemer whose charm and fourth-wall breaks turned him into a defining teen icon of the early 1990s. During the show's run, fame blurred personal boundaries. In a 2009 interview with People, Gosselaar openly admitted that he dated 3 of his co-stars at different times: Lark Voorhees, Tiffani Thiessen, and Elizabeth Berkley, an arrangement that fueled off-screen tension and complicated working relationships on a tightly controlled set of young actors growing up too fast. After the series ended, he fought hard to escape Zach's shadow. Early roles struggled to erase the teen idol label until darker, more grounded performances in NYPD Blue and later Franklin and Bash reshaped his credibility. His personal life also shifted, ending a long marriage before rebuilding stability with a second family. Still alive in 2026 at age 52, Gosselaar continues acting steadily, respected now less for nostalgia and more for longevity earned the hard way. Elizabeth Berkley as Jessie Spano. Elizabeth Berkley was born July 28, 1972, in Farmington Hills, Michigan. She was 17 years old when she played Jessie Spano on Saved by the Bell, the driven, idealistic student whose ambition and famous breakdown episode made her one of the show's most complex characters. After leaving the series, she accepted the lead role of Nomi Malone in Paul Verhoeven's Showgirls, 1995, believing the provocative film would mark her serious transition into adult cinema. Instead, the movie was savaged by critics, and Berkley became the focal point of the backlash. She later described feeling publicly shamed, bullied, and blamed for executing the director's vision, while the industry rapidly distanced itself. The fallout was immediate and severe. Her agency dropped her, auditions dried up, and she found herself effectively shut out of mainstream film opportunities. Smaller roles followed, including The First Monday in May years later, but the emotional damage lingered. Still alive in 2026 at age 53, Elizabeth Berkley stands not as a cautionary tale, but as proof that survival sometimes matters more than redemption. Dustin Diamond as Screech Powers. Born January 7, 1977, Dustin Diamond was born in San Jose, California, and was just 12 years old when he became Screech Powers on Saved by the Bell, the socially awkward genius whose slapstick innocence made him unforgettable. After the series ended, Diamond found himself trapped in Screech's shadow. Casting directors saw the character, not the actor, and serious roles never came. His career narrowed to low-budget appearances and stand-up, while he grew increasingly isolated from former co-stars who moved on. In 2006, financial pressure and frustration led to a controversial decision to self-release an explicit tape, something he later admitted was the biggest mistake of his life. Trouble deepened in the 2000s. His 2009 memoir, Behind the Bell, strained relationships further, accusing castmates of toxic behavior and cementing his outsider status. In 2014, Diamond was arrested following a bar stabbing in Wisconsin, serving 3 months in jail in 2016, a public fall that seemed irreversible. In early January 2021, Diamond was diagnosed with stage 4 small cell lung cancer. He died on February 1, 2021, at just 44 years old. Leanna Creel as Tori Scott. Leanna Creel, born August 27, 1970, in Los Angeles, California. She was around 19 years old when she joined Saved by the Bell as Tori Scott, the sharp, rule-following transfer student brought in during the show's later seasons. From the moment she appeared, Creel faced intense fan backlash. Viewers loyal to Kelly and Jesse rejected the change, and Tori's tougher personality only deepened the divide. Though she also appeared in films like Parenthood earlier and later TV projects such as Beverly Hills 90210, the stigma of being the replacement quietly stalled her acting momentum, leaving her career uneven and short-lived in front of the camera. Rather than fight a losing battle, Creel made a decisive pivot. She stepped away from acting and rebuilt herself behind the scenes, finding stability and control as a director and producer, working on independent films and television projects. Still alive in 2026 at age 56, Leanna Creel works largely off-camera, remembered less for controversy and more for choosing reinvention over resentment. Ernie Sabella as Leon Carosi. Born September 19, 1949, Ernie Sabella was born in Chicago, Illinois, and was about 40 years old when he appeared as Leon Carosi, Bayside High's gruff gym teacher on Saved by the Bell. Sabella's path to recognition was long and uneven. For years, he worked steadily but quietly in television and theater, often cast as tough or no-nonsense figures, rarely breaking through. After Saved by the Bell, on-screen opportunities remained limited, reflecting a familiar pattern for character actors overshadowed by youth-driven sitcoms. A dramatic turn came in 1994, when Sabella unexpectedly found his defining role, not on camera, but behind a microphone. As the voice of Pumbaa in Disney's The Lion King, he achieved global fame, followed by continued voice work in the franchise. The success reframed his career, proving versatility the industry had previously overlooked. Still alive in 2026 at age 77, Ernie Sabella remains a respected performer, remembered both as Bayside's intimidating coach and as one of animation's most beloved voices. Tori Spelling as Violet Bickerstaff. Tori Spelling, born May 16, 1973, Tori. Spelling in Los Angeles, California. She was just 17 years old when she appeared as Violet Bickerstaff on Saved by the Bell, the shy, romantic classmate briefly paired with Screech. Fame followed quickly with Beverly Hills 90210, but privilege did not shield her from collapse. Her long, turbulent marriage to Dean McDermott unraveled publicly after years of infidelity scandals, emotional strain, and financial stress. Spelling later admitted she stayed far too long, believing the instability may have harmed her children before finally filing for divorce. As her career cooled, public perception turned cruel. Once labeled a Hollywood princess, her struggles became tabloid spectacle, symbolizing a harsh fall from grace. Trauma compounded it all. Spelling and her children narrowly escaped Los Angeles wildfires in their SUV, an event she described as terrifying and destabilizing. Still alive in 2026 at age 53, Tori Spelling continues working sporadically in reality TV and writing, surviving a life where fame arrived easily, but peace never did. Time has changed their lives, but the memories of Bayside High still linger. Saved by the Bell was more than a sitcom. It was a generation growing up under bright lights and heavy consequences. If these stories touched you, leave a comment and subscribe for more unforgettable then and now journeys.